Okay, attempt number 2. This is my Niner 19 Rip 9 RDO 4-star build. Fox 36 up front, Fox DPX2 rear shock, SRAM RSC brakes, and DT Swiss wheels. I've ridden mountain bikes for a long time, fairly long time, not as long as others, but I would say 10 or 12 years. I've been on a lot of different bikes, everything from hardtails to cross-country race dual suspensions, longer travel dual suspension bikes. Trek Remedy and the Giant Trance have been like one of my favorite 2 bikes. Very similar as far as characteristics, I feel, between those 2, and this bike, in my opinion, surpasses both of them as far as capability wise. It's a brilliant bike. Don't get me wrong, both of those bikes are still awesome, and they're right up there on my favorite. I've also ridden tons of Santa Cruz, different models, Bronsons, 5010s, Tall Boys. They're all great bikes. It's better. I like it better. It's one man's opinion. I mean, I shouldn't say it's better. It's better for what I do. Everything about this bike is awesome. Mainly due to the fact by Niner's CBA, the continuously varying arc suspension design. Basically what it does is, unlike your traditional suspension design, which has a vertical wheel path which keeps the feel of the suspension fairly consistent, which is good in theory as long as it's a good consistent feel, Niner has developed a suspension that is going to change dependent on how far through that arc you are. Basically, at its sag point, at 30%, 25 to 30%, the tension on the chain under pedaling load is going to make the suspension slightly more stiff and keep that wheel driving down towards the ground. As soon as that wheel hits something and starts to go through more than 30% of that suspension, now the bike is much more active, much more supple, and the rear wheel stays planted right to the ground. It's like it's glued there. And basically through the mid-stroke, the suspension is very supportive in that mid-stroke curve. So under cornering with chattery bumps, the bike is just glued right to the ground. There's no bouncing, there's no kickback, no feedback in any sort of negative manner from the bike whatsoever. It's absolutely brilliant in that sense. And then as you ramp through that mid-stroke and get into the deep part of the travel, the shock ramps up and the suspension curve becomes a little bit steeper and helps to eliminate harsh bottom outs and any sort of big hits, drops, anything like that. So the bike is just brilliant all around. And that goes for all the Niners, not just big travel bike. It's more noticeable in the big travel bike than it is in the shorter travel bikes, just due to the fact that there's just more there. You think of a long travel bike as being big and lumbering and kind of slow. Not the case in this thing. It's fast, it's super quick handling, it's great for all day comfort. I, for some reason, rode 50 miles on it the other day. That was a rough one, but no, the bike is brilliant. It's awesome. This is the second Niner I have ever ridden. The first one was a Jet back when it was the race bike, so kind of the polar opposite. And I've always traditionally been a 27.5 guy, and not anymore. 29-inch wheels. I don't know why you didn't do it sooner. They're awesome. Bike is playful, yet it just plows over things, and it is The one way to describe it is it's truly hover bike. I don't want to steal somebody else's term, but that's it. You put it over chattery bumps, and it just brilliant.